The United Nations in Nigeria this week vow to bar corrupt high-profile individuals from entering the United States. The U.S. mission posted on X warning that it resolved to fight corruption would not spare anyone, stating that high-profile individuals who engage in corrupt practices will be barred from entering the United States. Also stating that fighting corruption knows no boundary or limits on accountability, and warned that when high-profile individuals engage in corruption, they can be barred from receiving United States visas. The U.S. government has in the past imposed ban on Nigerian politicians accused of undermining the electoral democratic process. Just last month, the London-based independent policy institution, Chatham House, warned that despite 25 years of reforms attempt to deal with corruption, corruption remains embedded in Nigerian institutions. It said the impact on the society was both devastating and multifaceted, undermining the country's democracy, and also undermines its people, eroding economic prosperity and negatively impacting on growth. The latest United States warning comes as Nigerian transparency advocate raises concern over alleged mismanagement of public funds, abuse of office across all levels of government. But the question remains, will this move deter corrupt officials from still being corrupt? And can this be the beginning of other countries following suit in dealing with corruption? Well, this and more as it concerns corruption in Nigeria is what this edition of Dialogue is all about. And that is ban on corrupt public officials by the United States. And that's what we're having as a major discourse today on the show. We're looking at the recent push by the United States of America to bar corrupt politicians or office holders from having the United States visa. But anyway, we're not having any visa or need any visa to bring him here. He can come in and also help us talk about it. And we're talking of no other person but, well, indeed, someone from the democracy and good governance. And I'm talking of Comrade Emeka Nwokocha. Well, Comrade Emeka Nwokocha, nice to have you on the show. Like I said, you need no visa to come to the Atlantic Media and TV building to have this discussion. But all the same, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the privilege.
Privilege it is. But did a very strong one coming from the United States of America. And, well, especially with the United States President Donald Trump, who we know is always having a change of narrative of how things are. And now he's coming with this very idea of imposing a ban on persons that are perceived to be corrupt. Well, we don't know how that will be implemented or when it will be implemented, but it's already going out there. So my question now is, what's your reaction to this very recent move by the United States of America to put a ban on corrupt office holders in Nigeria?
My reaction is kudos. Kudos and kudos. You see, Mr. Mike, the corruption issue in this country is nothing we should handle with kid gloves.
Most certainly.
You know, it has a very detrimental effect on the people. And since over our outcry, yearnings, you know, our interventions, appeals to these governments, you know, those who are running the government, to deliver governance with transparency, accountability, and fairness, they have not actually shown signs of responsibility in governance, and they have continued, you know, to punish, you know, the ordinary, patriotic, law-abiding Nigerians. So for no reason. So I think the United Nations, United States of America, you know, had and have over time expressed their displeasure over the manner corruption, you know, is really embedded in the political system. And now they are taking it further to now want to slam, you know, a kind of sanction on persons perceived to be corrupt, obviously high-profile Nigerians as it were. And I think that would send a signal, that would inspire the ordinary Nigerian, you know, to begin to see the reason why we must, you know, push further, you know, for good governance. Because if United States implements this policy to the letter, I think the clarion call now will be for other nations,
Yeah,
you know,
to
mostly
fall through.
yes, mostly the UK and other countries in Europe to follow suit. So if they are not denied, you know, to go to these countries where they spend our hard-earned money on frivolities, then they will definitely have a rethink. So you are now, you know, compared to remain in your country and do the needful. So it's another way of telling the Nigerian leaders that we are not happy the way things are going in this country. You know, the citizens are adversely being, you know, malnourished, being, you know, impoverished because of your actions and the,
I was almost coming there of how really impoverished Nigerians have become. But my question, you raised it up. Now let's look. The London-based independent policy institute, we're talking about the Chatham House, came out just last month to say that undermining 25 years of reforms as it concerns corruption, corruption is still embedded in our own institutions. And when they talk about institutions, they're talking about our government institutions. It's still well embedded. And this is what they've come to say, undermining will have 25 years of reforms. Now, my next question is, I'm now being forced to ask, how really endemic is corruption in Nigeria? Yes, how much of an institution or institutionalizing it has it been in our own fabric as a people?
Yeah, I want to thank the Chatham House for having a very transparent record about and following up the corruption index in Nigeria over time. It mentioned 25 years. That tells you from 1999, you know, the subsequent governments we've had, they have not actually done anything to elevate the living standard of Nigerians. And you're asking about how
really endemic,
let me
how
not
really
tell
embedded
you, for you
is
to know.
In our own
Let's even
fabrics.
start to MBS, you know, our statistics as at 2020 or 2023 that says 133 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor. And what that means is that dimensionally, in the sense that the poor Nigerian cannot have access to good food, cannot have access to good housing, cannot have access to good education, cannot have access to good clothing. So all around those things, you know, that make life, you know, meaningful, every Nigerians are deprived of these opportunities. And again, you recall that UNICEF, you know, came up, I think last year here, with a very frightening data that 2 million Nigerians, you know, are suffering under severe acute malnutrition. 2 million Nigerians.
We'll come to the impact, but I want us to understand, that's why I'm asking you, how really embedded? Is it in our own fabric? Is it in our everyday life? Are we so used to corruption? Are we corrupt as a people? Our institutions, we're talking about tertiary institutions, health institutions, even government offices so corrupt. Corruption is now just a way of life. It's what we breathe, it's what we feel, it's what we see. Are we really that corrupt as a people?
Yes.
Let's live with not just only the politician, but is our very fabric corrupted?
Yes. It's a symbol, it's a national symbol. Let me tell you something, how serious it is. Are you not surprised that Nigeria is the largest producer of crude oil in Africa?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we have struck another good, gas. Nigeria is the largest producer of gas in Africa.
Yeah.
Good. Let's start with that narrative. Does it in any way reflect in the livelihood of the other Nigerians? So what you have to do is this. Check out the lifestyle of the average Nigerian public office holder.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Without him being told, you discover that what he brings into office is personal aggrandizement.
Okay.
He does not think about the ordinary persons.
Okay.
Now, even if you go by the humongous amount they even pay them at their monument and salary, let's even leave it at that. You're surprised that what they spend a day is 100 times, or what they spend is 100 times what
they claim to receive.
What they claim to receive. So that is corruption. Are you there? And you are seeing the way they handle public policies. You know, you see that all about governance as it concerns them, you know, is housed to lining their pocket with ill-gotten wealth. And again, they have bastardized all institutions in this country. Take, for instance, your police institution, which is supposed to be the next holiest, as the case may be. What do you have in the police sector today? Corruption, they wear the tag of corruption. They wear, you know, the fabric of corruption as a uniform. And this thing happened in the full glare of the public. It is not even hidden. It is being advertised. And your country, your institutions, your leaders see these things happen that stare us in the face and nothing is done. That will tell you that it has been accepted as a norm. when you go across,
All board.
all board, the civil service, let me start with that. Because the man at the top, has made it a symbol, and they hold tenaciously to it and cherish it. So it has become a way of life. So when the people look at the top and discover that this is what is in place, is in vogue, so what do you expect them to do? And when you deploy corrupt acts at your office, there's no consequence management being meted out to you. So what does that tell you? That it is not an acceptable norm. So knowingly or unknowingly, it has become a national template of governance. So the only thing Nigerian man understands is corruption. If there's no corruption, around him, automatically it appears, he has not started his daily work for that day.
Okay.
But then, it is so alarming and it's so worrisome and horrifying to note that these things happen and the governments, are not bothered about it. And that's the reason today, if you go look at, our ranking across board,
yes,
you discover that it is so annoying, it's mind-boggling, worrisome. So it appears that the only language the Nigerian man understands as concerns our client is corruption. And they made it so endemic because the people are now impoverished. The people cannot meet their daily needs, right? So anywhere you find them in public service, they must want to cut corners to make up for the shortfalls. Shortfalls as in not having enough money to rent a comfortable accommodation. Shortfall as not having enough money to provide good food for the children. Shortfall as in not having enough income, to put their children in a good school. Shortfall as in not having enough income to cater for their personal well-being. So they must look for a shortcut. And when they go about the shortcuts, no matter whatever way, the institution, the system does not run at it. So automatically it has become a systemic issue. It has been embedded. So what is remaining now is for the National Assembly now to sit on one day, and make it, a formal and a legalized policy. That corruption would now find its way in our constitution.
Oh, well, come on.
Yeah. Because the body language has told that it's an accepted. So I'm waiting for that.
I doubt how a National Assembly will institutionalize corruption as passing a bill.
So I am waiting for them.
Okay, well,
to elevate it to that standard.
We will wait. We'll never wait for that. I will wait no further in asking the next question. Now, if I could still remember, that should be in March of 2022. The Chartered Institute of Forensic and Investigative Professionalism in Nigeria came out to say that 70 to 75% of our annual budgetary are always stolen away. That's why we see little or no impact of the budget year in, year out, whether it is the main budget, appropriation budget, or any other one, that 70 to 75% of it is being stolen. It's been unaccounted for. We only walk ahead with just little or nothing in our annual budget. Now, if that's the case, my next question, I know I had to stop you before now because I wanted us to set the record straight, lay the foundation of our discussion. Now, let's look at the impact all of this corruption has had over the years on ordinary Nigerians. Let's look at the impact it has had on the largest producer of oil in Africa, the largest producer of gas in Africa, the most advanced as it concerns entertainment in Africa, and also one of the growing as it concerns solid mineral in the whole sub-region of West Africa. Let's look at the impact these have had over the years on ordinary.
The impacts are, they are mind-boggling, just as they cut across board. Let's take the health sector, for instance.
Okay.
Do you know the infant mortality rate in Nigeria ranks among the highest in the world?
Yeah.
Do you know in terms of all manner of communicable diseases, that our children and our nationals, are roundly victims of it just because of the fact that we don't have good health sector?
Yes.
You live in your neighborhood, Mr. Mike. Would you be able to say that you have a health sector, you could say, yes, this has this meets
A government
run
provided
health sector
yeah.
that meets international standard.
No.
No. So, and across board, just as it is in the
health sector,
that's how it is across the 36 states, including Abuja. So that tells you within the health sector, the Nigerian man, when you are sick, your faith lies in God. What government ordinarily should do for you, the health insurance policy as it were, which ought to be your inalienable right, because citizens must live and be healthy for us to have the energy to develop our economy. Your government don't take along that line. They don't even care about your well-being. So when you are sick, you just need to go to church and start praying to God to get, healing. So our health centers, are mere consulting centers. So nothing to write home about. Our doctors, they are all jetting out of our health institution because of poor remuneration, poor facilities, and other. These things are possible to put on ground. But let me tell you, but when these public officers are sick, when they contract small headache, they fly to India, they fly to US, they fly to Europe for medical attentions. But the ordinary Nigerian man cannot find Panadol. So at the end of the day, the effect of the corruption is that money that ought to be channeled to these public services, training people say, have been stolen with impunity. They steal it with impunity. They move in our streets, and their ego tells you that they don't even care about your life. Now, take it down to the educational sector. Our institutions now, they are mere glorified secondary schools. I'm talking about the universities. Before now, in the 60s and 70s, our universities were ranked among the best in the world. But today, in Africa, you will hardly see us maintaining 20, along the rankings. Yeah. You're not even talking across the board. Why? Our institutions, have all decayed. Then are you talking about poverty? Let me not go there. I have read out striking statistics here. NBS said 1.3 million Nigerians must be poor in 2022. But that is before the government of Tinubu came in and removed the fuel subsidy, which somersaulted the economy. In other words, you need about 300% of your earnings or more than to be able to sustain the life you were living before Tinubu came in. And remember that your minimum wage was increased to 70,000 naira, which cannot get you a bag of rice. Now, starting from what does that tell you? That there's mass poverty. The people do not have a voice. They don't have a platform to complain. People die every day. The media does not capture all this. They die every day of malnutrition. They die every day of hunger. And I'm only reading out the statistics of the children from 0 to 5 because that one is alarming. I'm not talking about the adults. And UNICEF has come out to tell you that among the 2 million, that about 90% of them are at the risk of death, calling on the Nigerian government to intervene timeously. Do you know what's called 2 million
children?
2 million, that percentage or that number could equal the number of some countries in this world are at the risk of death because they can't find food to eat. Malnutrition, does not come as a result of any ailment. It's as a result of poor nutrition. And your country, your leaders see all this. These issues, are not taken with seriousness. They are not being prioritized. I have not even seen National Assembly taking up this issue and debating it and say, we must do something to save our children. These are the children that will come to inherit the Nigeria of tomorrow. And you don't even care about their life. Rather, all the money, there are always budgets, allocations to all these, to meeting these services. But do this money get to the right sources? No. Persons are there. Government officials are there. Politicians are there to steal all of them with impunity. They don't even care. They are not scared. Have you ever seen the country, taking this serious to say, when you steal government money, you'll be accountable to it. You'll be punished in line with the law. You don't even see it. It appears when you steal the money, that is okay for us. And because the character has shown that the government tolerates, that the government, accepts, promotes,
kick gloves over,
corruption. So the people do it, without even minding. There's no atom of care, as it were. So the impact cut across the board. Poverty has become the order of the day. Nigerians are poverty stricken. Nigerians, are in all manner of well-being, we
Now,
can't see.
if you talk like this, if you give us this narrative, it will baffle a whole lot of Nigerians that why we've not been able to rein this in. Now, let me be specific. Just last year alone, the EFCC racked in about 1 trillion naira in assets and in cash recovered from corrupt politicians. This is the highest we've had since the inception of EFCC since 2003. And yet, we still find more persons ready, like you said, to steal more. Mm-hmm. So this now brings us with this question. Why are we still having this go on? Is it our anti-graft agencies are poor to handle this issue? Is it all about our judiciary not having enough muscle to deal with these persons, put them where they should be? Because I could still remember some cases, some persons were called to give account of what they've done as it concerns public funds. They were left off the hook here in Nigeria, but they were punished and persecuted in other countries. So let's understand why or what is the reason that this is still continuing. Is it our poor institutions or our inability to drive home the push for corruption to end?
The people that steal your money are not me and you, they're not small men. It's a vicious circle. They belong to the same club. They are in the club your president belongs. They are in the club your governors belong. It's in the club all your ministers belong. It's in the club all your commissioners belong. Your House Assembly members belong. So belong to the elitist corrupt club. So when you steal and you are in that club, what happens to you?
It's a new club. I've not heard
So
of that.
you may not know.
But it's not the Premier League, though.
I am telling you, you might not see this in your official archive.
Okay.
But apparently, what I'm telling you is what is happening. So when you steal, you are welcomed and you are applauded. Thumb up for you. In as much as you are deliberate, intentional to pepper the ordinary poor Nigerian. That's the intention of those who are managing our affairs. Their priority, primary motive is to kill the ordinary Nigerian, pepper him, ensure you snuff life out of him. Because the policies,
that will not be true.
No, let me tell you why it is like that. There are some policies you will see. You should be able to know if you do not like me, your body language, there's a way it speaks that you do not like my presence, right? So what I'm telling you that if you are saying no, go through the policies your government is running, and they are all punitive. They are all tailored towards denying the ordinary Nigerian man his right to good living. Your constitution in section 14, subsection 2 says here that the primary, subsection 114 says the primary purpose of governance is what? The welfare and the security of people. Now, let's take up these two items. Let's capitalize on the welfare. Do you see any policy of this country, of your government, that is tailored, that is intentional, that prioritizes the welfare of the Nigerian? The answer is no. It does not even arise. It does not even well up in their hearts. It does not even discussed. They don't even care about that. So if you do not intentionally prioritize the welfare of the citizen, which is the primary purpose why you are there, then why are you there? So now that they have shifted the attention from the basics to do their own personal business, running Nigerian government like a private estate, that's why I tell you they belong to a club, the illicit club. That's what? That tends to promote corruption. And once you belong to that club, you can do anything, you go scot-free. But if a smallest man goes to steal a goat, forget it. You will not see the action of your judiciary. You will not see that magistrate that you see there. You will see the venom in the magistrate. They are going to slam the highest punishment on that small man that went to steal a goat. But the man that steals billions, that changed the future of the country, both those living and unborn, when you even mistakenly takes him to court, they say what they call a plea bargain. It creeps into our jurisprudence. At the end of the day, he goes off the hook. haven't pleaded that you should return 10% of your loot. And tomorrow when you see him, he starts globetrotting. He starts swaggering. When you see his ego, that will tell you that we own. People have owned this country. They have owned this country as a personal estate. So whether you like it or not, right? Nigerians are under, these cabals, and it is what they determine your future to be. Is what, for instance, I cannot tell you, I can't tell you that I can afford what is called nutritious food. In those who were taught how to eat a balanced diet. You know what the balanced diet means? Not putting rice in pot and putting all egg. No, that tells you that you must have considered all the foods and begin to, at your own time, select them as you want to be able to eat and live well and grow well. And to really embarrass you more, do you know that Nigeria is a country that holds the largest stunted children in the world? Stunted children in the world. That means a children created by God. God has given them life. It's only your government that says that life God has given you free of charge cannot be expressed to you. Stunted. A child of 10 years will be looking like a child of 5. Why? No nutritious food.
Okay.
This statistics stares us in the face. I am not telling you what is not in existence.
I will plead with you to calm down.
So that is my situation.
Well, I will plead with you to calm down.
Yeah.
We will not be having stunted children here in our discussion. We pray it doesn't come to that. But let's continue our discussion. In case you are joining us, it's Dialogue, and we're talking about the recent push by the United States of America to really bar public office holders that are perceived to be corrupt. And you do know that President Trump seems to be changing the narrative as it concerns some things he's eager to see. One of them is to see that public office holders in Nigeria that are perceived to be corrupt will not be issued visa on account of allegations of corruption against them, whether they've been found guilty or not. But if you just have a tag over your neck that I am corrupt, well, forget going to the United States, because very soon, no visa for you. So just come to Budu Cattle Ranch, or you can come around Uguno. But anyway, before you go to Uguno, I will come back here now to you. And let's continue our discussion. Now, Nigeria scored 26 out of 100 points in our 2024 ranking in Transparency International. And over the years, our basic point has always been like 21.6%. Over the years since inception in 1996. And we even came to about 28% in 2018, which is the highest we've had as it concerns our corruption index. Now, my question is, yes, this seems to be a problem. And we might keep talking about it, keep crying about it, keep doing all we can. Shout to the high heavens, put them in prayers, put them in our daily routine in prayers, kabashing around 3 in the morning. At the end, put fasting that will still impoverish you in the afternoon and in the evening, but yet things are not changing. So what do you feel our anti-graft agencies and the judiciary, which you complain seems to have double standards, should now start to do for us to curb this? Whether we cry or not, it's still there. What do we need to do as a people to end this madness?
Who set them up? They didn't just start existing on their own. The Nigerian government set them up and gave them terms of references. And they are under the whims and caprices of the presidency. So what the president tells them to do is what they do. Are they independent? No matter what you say, are independent corrupt. These are just mere rhetorics. Are they independent? If they are independent, then they should go all out. And I can tell you, if they are ready to do their jobs, all prisons in this country will be expanded and more will be built. I said it here or in one of my engagements that any Nigerian leader that leaves the office, if you have immunity that covers you while you're in office, as soon as you leave, your next sabbatic leave should be in the prison. I have said it without missing words. I would not even need to go to court, right? Because all of them are roundly corrupt. And they advertise.
But that would be putting a tag around the neck.
Yes, let me tell you something.
Would that be a
It is my opinion. Any person that says he's not corrupt, I will challenge him to public discourse. Did you declare your assets before you took that office?
Most of them did.
Mike, most of them did. Declare an asset in Nigeria. Did they make it public? How do you declare an asset? sincerely, it ought to be a public discourse. It shouldn't be done in secrecy. You right? Okay, when you are living in office, if you did you come again
To check.
to balance the equations? So, see, what I'm telling you that the EFCC
And ICPC.
the ICPC are ready to do their job to clean the audience table. All our politicians, 90%, would be cooling their heels in the prison. As soon as they leave, they will find them in themselves in the next sabbatic leave. And in their sabbatic leave should be in our prison. And again, if we are intentional, if they are intentional, well, I want to see them now expanding our prisons, or we call it correctional center as it were. Be ready for the work. I said you have to clean the audience table, because it is not a child's play. Because some persons said sometime that if we do not kill corruption, corruption will kill us. And the corruption is killing us. It has even killed many. We are about to kill more. But you have to intervene. But the institution, which is the government, must give it a nod. Give it a nod, not playing a double standard. It's a clarion call to the president of this country, in the person of His Excellency Ahmed Bola Tinubu, to save Nigerians from the drift we are heading, from abyss. Because if we do not do this, my creed, I fear what the future portends for this country. Because we do not have any institution again you could call your own any longer.
Okay.
Yes. Because services are no longer delivered. They are no longer deployed, and no longer delivered. The human life, does not matter anything to this country any longer. The sustainability in terms of life does not matter anything again in this country. In short, the welfare of the people has now been threaded out. No person talks about the welfare of the people any longer. What's ordinarily supposed to dominate the public discourse. So at the end of the day, the ordinary Nigerian is now, at the receiving end. I will tell you, in confidence that you are saying 70,000 naira is the minimum wage of the average Nigerian, Mr. Ray. In the worry we are living, the smallest one-bedroom apartment you call self-contained, how much does it go? That tells you, I have made it known here or somewhere else, that from the standard the Nigerian government has said, the low-income earning Nigerians are supposed to be living in the forest.
Oh, come on.
And come to work from the forest.
Oh, come on.
Yes,
come on.
because analytically, let us be, sincere about our analysis. 70,000 naira, perhaps the other allowances might up it up to 100,000 naira. Mike, a man that has 3 children, that 100,000 naira, to be sincere, you can't take care of your need for a month for only that worker. Then let alone his wife and his 3 children. That tells you that the entire family is enmeshed in severe impoverishment, poverty, suffering, malnutrition, hardship, hunger. But they are not crying out because they don't have any platform. So at the end of the day, the consequence will be many are dying, many are being malnourished, many are being stunted. So a lot happen. Families are being broken, and reportage on these things are not seen in the public. So I am the president of the Talakawas, and my constituents, what they feel is what I'm coming to tell you. And I feel it's true. I feel the pinch too. So at the end of the day, when we speak the facts, people think maybe we are manufacturing our data. But it is truth. Because these guys don't go to the suburbs. They don't go to the hinterlands. They don't go to the villages. Even if they do go, they don't have the empathy. They don't have the concern, the feeling to actually put themselves in the shoes of these other Nigerians who are paying the bills in terms of making the sacrifices that our country must see tomorrow. Our country must progress. Because if these people are not there, there's no Nigeria.
Okay, now, I will plead with you to hold on. Time is not a friend. Before we go back to the Stone Age and also put on hides,
yes,
rather than living in buildings, like you said. Now the United States of America seems to be taking a lead as it concerns corruption on the international stage, and are talking of placing a ban. And most likely, we might also see other countries falling through with this certain move. Now, do you see this really turning things around, changing the narrative, restructuring the minds of these corrupt public office holders? Because, like you said, these monies are not being put here. They are still taken to these foreign lands to either invest there or to spend there. So do you feel if this is really the way to go, and would be a way to go by the United States of America and other countries, will it in every way curb? I'm not saying eradicating, because that would be hard to find, but would it in every way curb the level of corruption?
It might, but the citizens must play their own role. We must amplify it. What you are doing here is amplifying it.
Yes.
So it's a challenge to all media now, to make it a regular discourse. And the people must, participate in governance actively.
Okay.
We must, leverage all opportunities, all platforms to ensure that we start calling our governments, to order. If America could do that, we should still now start appealing through our writings, through our engagements, to other countries to follow suit. So at the end of the day, when these countries follow suit, and there's a total denial of visas to these guys, they cannot leave this country alone. I think, like somebody has said, that if it can be made a policy that every public officer, should put his child in the public school, that it will make them, it will inspire them to look into the rot in the public system and fix it because their children are there. So that kind of, mindset, that kind of discourse, can as well be seen happening if other countries too follow suit. So when they cannot leave this country any longer, the next option is we have no other place to go now. Obudu Cattle Ranch, how comfortable is it? If it's not well, okay, why can't we put money there and make it suitable for us to go? So it will not change their mindset.
Okay.
Because what they are doing is not by mistake. It is intentional. They are aware. It is something they have intentionally, deliberately, chosen to do. So they could still, let go that when the people's outcry, are being amplified. So it will now be, stinking them on their skin. And not only that, we should ensure that we leverage every opportunity. We should ensure that we start taking these guys to think our judiciary are not really, firm. But to a very large extent too, I will tell you that when we start doing that, even those at the judiciary will definitely begin to know that it is only this country we have. So if we kill this country, now where would we run to? So we start knocking this sense into them. Before you know it, it will start changing the orientation. And their policy will begin, to be tailored, towards providing the necessities that people need to live life and live it comfortably. And that is the only thing the average Nigerian is looking for. The average Nigerian man is very, very resilient. He's dogged. I mean, he does not even dwell on luxuries too much. So he needs the basics to actually live his life. And he doesn't have a problem. Why not provide it? Why not provide water? Provide housing, good infrastructure, good education, good health facilities, and all. And provide jobs for the teeming youth that are ready. That are used in other claims that don't want to work. But Nigerian youth want to work. If you go to school, if you see how people struggle to get to school, because they have the intention that they want to better their lives. When they have struggled, gone to school and came out, a government ought to applaud them, to compliment their effort, because they are coming to put all they have learned to develop the economy and this country for the betterment of everybody. Instead of you promoting that entrepreneurship, you are killing that spirit. I don't understand.
Okay.
So
what I do understand,
I don't understand.
What I do understand, and what I will not want us to kill is the discussion.
Yeah.
But I'll really make you understand that we're really out of time, and I've been giving the signal because time is not a friend, and we still have a whole lot to talk. But just like what you've said, you feel that more needs to be done, especially by the United States of America and others, to see if there will be a checkmate in these persons going over. They might really have a rethink and think of developing our own country. And it could really be more of a blessing in disguise. But all the same, it will not be fair if I do not really thank you so much. And I'm talking of no other person but the Takalawas or
The president of the Talakawas, they have lots.
oh, that's
in Nigeria.
Okay, well, anyway,
Yes.
anyway, we'll not be pushed in for anything that concerns, how will I put it, so subduing the already democratic process. So I will need to thank you so much, Comrade Emeka Awokocha. He's of the CEO or the CSO of Value, and also the protection of good governance and democracy in Nigeria. And I'm talking of no other person but Emeka Awokocha, Comrade Emeka Awokocha. Nice having you always on this platform. Thank you for spending your time.
Thank you. And I want to thank your platform for the wonderful work you are doing.
Well, thank you.
God bless you guys.
Well, thank you. Well, anyway, it's more like a wrap for me on this. Let's always get your reactions. We talked about these. What's your take, especially as it concerns all that Comrade Emeka Awokocha has said, as it concerns barring or putting a ban on public office holders in Nigeria that are perceived to be corrupt by the United States of America? Would it help to curb the issue? And why are we not really winning the war against corruption on the mind? We have 25 years on broken democratic process and also reforms being geared towards dealing with that. Let all of your reactions follow. Send them to our different social media platforms. You'll be surprised. We might just take them as they come. And most honestly, very soon we'll be opening up the lines so you can call, react, and also discuss about all these issues that we seem to have been Dialogue and every other of our platform. But for me, Michael Gobadia, God willing, we'll see next week on Dialogue.